Hari Om. Welcome to next mantra in Yoga Chudamani Upanishads, the crown jewel of yoga. We are going through every mantra and talking about what it says to us, the personal perspective, and what it can bring you to your life, this spiritual, powerful yoga practice. So we next mantra, which is 48 and 49, Uddiyana Bandha. And if you're quite advanced yoga practitioner, you know it's the bandha that which you perform around our belly, stomach. Let's read the Sanskrit. Uddyanam kurute yasmada vishrantam mahagahah. Uddyanam tadeva syan mrityu matange sare. Udarat paschimam tanam adonabe nigadyate. Uddyanamudare bandashtatra Bandha Vidyayate. The translation is: just as a great bird takes to flight after a long rest, similarly Uddiyana is to be practiced. Uddiyana is like a lion challenging the elephant of death. Drawing the bandha below the navel towards the back is called Pachimatana. That's the part of Pachimatanasana which you perform. Uddiyana is also practiced by binding this region of the abdominal. Therefore, because of the binding or contracting, it is called Uddiyana Bandha. The meaning of the word Uddiyana is to rise up or fly upward. Therefore, the image of the bird is used here to describe the practice. The bird which flies in the air is a symbol of prana, so the movement of prana shakti in the physical body is described as a bird rising up. The bird depicted in the first mantra is Mahakaga, the great bird, which further implies that Uddiyana is a powerful practice able to rise a substance force to the highest point. After resting, the great bird takes to fly. Similarly, the practitioner rests before drawing in abdominal, enable the prana vayu to fly up the Sushumna. Rest is required before each round because Uddiyana Bandha is a strenuous practice. We do take usually a big inhale, exhale before we practice Mahabandha or Uddiyana Bandha. In Uddiyana, the abdomen is pulled back and up underneath the ribcage. The contraction stimulates the solar plexus and creates a suction which reverses the flow of prana and apana and unites them with samana. And we talked about this in previous several pranas that we draw in, creating this empty space. You draw in, the prana energy or air from one place to other. That's how atmosphere works on a planet. That's how air works in your room. You ventilate it. That's everything. It's the basic law that we created in the body by creating these locks, and then by we release the apana energy rise up there. In this case, it's around the stomach. In previous mantra, we talk about mula or down heart. It's basically the all working to marrying this prana in apana vayu. Repeated practice awakens Manipura chakra and forces the combined vayus to enter Sushumna, so that they fly upward to Sahasrara. At the same time, the alternative upward and downward movements of prana and apana are arrested. Manipura is said to be the storehouse of prana or vitality. And Manipura is translated the city of jewels here, so your storehouse of all your prana, energy, vitality, and that's why we have this Agni, power of the force of the fire, which by burning stuff, it's basically change its energetic level, so you're transcending something from one level to another again. When the vital force is awakened and directed upward to the high centers, the entire system is rejuvenated and physical diseases are removed. Hence, the first mantra described the practice of Uddiyana as a lion which is able to challenge the elephant of death. Yeah, so it's a little, as they say in the text, very self-sufficient, that you have this lion which, incomparable by the force of the elephant, and it's challenged by the death. When we start practice yoga, we challenge everything, ourselves, our body, our aging process, our disease, anything in our body disbalancing and degrading. That's like everything in the world happen. So we are creating this special condition when we let the energy flow strongly through all the channels, the nadis, as they say, and by activating chakras, we tap into the beauties of those chakras and all the sources they give us. We might not even making our life much longer. Sometimes some sages doesn't live long. Capacity, condition of your living will dramatically increase. And it sounds maybe like a very selfish. Maybe it's one of the main problem people met in yoga, this disbalance or contradiction. So I do practice yoga to become healthier physically or fight a disease. Usually many people start it because of doctor recommend, or they have some long-term body problems or depression or something like that they're trying to fight. But in the same time, you tap into yoga and you start live from the empathy point of view, dedication. You give something without wanting to have it back. If you live in this sense, you start contradict. So why should I improve my body, or aging, or reverse aging, or live longer, or get rid of disease? Because and I'm supposed to, not to worry about these things here. That's the main kind of problem, contradiction here. But in the same time, is everybody sage, will tell you, or gurus or teachers or wise people, that if you are not well yourself, how can you help others? And that's why you do the first thing, like when you go to airplane, the first thing they tell you, first put mask on yourself and then assist children or those who are in need. And that's what we should do in reality in this world. So if you will not awaken yourself, you at least will not be able to help others, or if you have constant disease, or your body is not fit, or you live less, or you couldn't work as hard, to help improve this world, or you could not help others. It's in a good case scenario, but the worst case scenario, you'll be even burdened for others, so you might even harm the others, or make others to, instead of looking after themselves, looking after you, this kind of stuff. We have to live in a world when we still have ego and we still have to look at ourselves, and you cannot live without that. Some people do, but it's a very, very specific way of life. So if you kind of like still, have a family, trying to go to work, have friends, like to go to movies, you cannot fully become, 100% sage and give up everything. And some people do, maybe for a short time or for some time or forever, for all their life, but it's not feasible for ourselves in our life. So we trying to find different paths. So one of the paths you can find is to kind of preach, teach yoga, spread the knowledge, I would say, rather than teach or preach. And to do that, you do need to be, well, first of all, the example, and secondly, you want to be healthy. You want to have ability and time to do that. Because if you are teaching something like a yoga to others, or trying to deliver it, you still have other obligations or other work, or you have family, or you have to somehow sustain yourself, yeah? So you do want to have more capacity and livelihood. But it's also just for your personal growth, for your practice. Without, healthy body, there's no practice. Yeah, quite important in Uddiyana, one of those amazing bandhas. So I always, usually I do practice Uddiyana, or it's part of the practice in yoga. So I do it. We're probably going to talk about this later. Benefits. Yeah, there's a benefits and Kechari. Yeah, the next one's Kechari Bandha. So there's only one on Uddiyana. So you probably will practice it through the class. Usually when we do Pachittamasana, when we do a lot of standing asanas, we kind of engage the Uddiyana. There's also, you just do separately. There's Nauli, other practices around your abdominals, which kind of involve the Uddiyana. It's great to practice just by itself, but it's also, for me, in my practice, it's part of Mahabandha, so it's part of Mahabandha practice at the end of my practice, or during the Kriya Yogas. Yeah, it's very important part, which actually I found it's dramatically like shifting on another level in your yoga practice in terms of the prana energy, Kundalini, this kind of stuff. So don't discard these things. Of course, you just straight away have this improvement in your health, dramatically glow of the skin, all this metabolism problem getting away, and this stuff. So it's very crucial and important. Another thing is very important for the mothers, young mothers who, well, not young mothers, but newly mothers who just recently had a baby. And it's the way, how I've been told, it's the way to get your space back around your abdominals, because you've been for so long, about a year, and then after you have a baby, there's no time, no energy. You dedicated, this part of your body to, other person, your child. And then it basically resides there for 9 months, lives there, and then just do whatever he wants to do there. And you're just a provider. And then first several years of your pregnancy, you kind of basically provider. You do breastfeeding or not, you still are constantly holding your baby. and the baby still having rights on your, this space. So energetically, Uddiyana is very, very great to regain this space and restart all the organs and, everything around here after you have a birth. So let's have a look on the second part of this mantra, mantra 49. The second verse describes the practice of Uddiyana as drawing the abdominal as far back as possible. The full practice is performed as follows. So I'm just going to go through the practice. And if you do classes with me regularly, you do it a lot, and I constantly direct you and explain you how to do it. Sit in Siddhasana or Padmasana. So what I do now in Padmasana, with the palms of the hands on the knees. You just bring the palms. Usually I draw first, second finger to kind of just circle my energy. If I bring the palms up, usually it's kind of like more receiving. I do it more doing some kind of meditation or relaxation when somebody tells me something. And when I practice for myself, I usually bring them down. So sit in Siddhasana, palms on the knees. Close the eyes and relax for a few moments. Breath in deeply through the nose, filling the lungs. Exhale fully, emptying the lungs. Hold the breath outside. So you basically inhale and exhaling, so you can just kind of testing, as I say, or practicing to feel your diaphragm, feel your abdominals, feel the lungs capacity, breathe in, breathe out. And also, as they say here in the mantra, you do want to have a rest, Rise the shoulders, straighten the elbows. So you a little bit straight. I usually like just to press with my base of my palm into my knees. For some of us, could be the floor if you have quite a short torso and long arms. But just press it here, so elbows straighten up, and you see your shoulder. You don't rise your shoulders, just slightly rising up. And I usually slightly lean forward, so I can have this little pressure. So I'm not really leaning back when I'm doing this. Just a little bit, just a hinge, lean forward, a little bit to have a better connection. Yeah, I find this more beneficial, especially when trying to get into abdominals. Press down on the knees, on the palms. Bend the head forward so that the chin touches the sternum. So you do go into Janhara, just above the throat pit. Pull the abdominal muscle backwards towards the spine and then upwards. So you're basically drawing them towards the spine and towards the rib cage at the back. The best explanation is the vacuum. People who go to gym or whatever, or some fitness classes, they do practice this. So the vacuum, it is employed from the yoga practice. So you inhale. I like to really inhale into my belly before, so I kind of get this connection to my muscles. So I'm going to swing them away, and then I'm swinging them all the way back up. Just check out my sessions when I practice this. And there's a great picture when it's demonstrated. Hold the abdominal contraction with the breath outside as long as you can comfortably. Then release the contraction. Bend the elbows and lower the shoulders. And just come back to normal sitting, basically. And slowly raise the head and exhale. So you're kind of doing it all at the same time. So I basically exhale, and then I bring my head straight away, releasing the hands. It's all same time. Yeah. Rest for a few moments. Usually just one full inhale, exhale will be enough, and allowing the breath to normalize. When you become regular with this, just one breath will be enough. But if you really beginner, take as long time as you want. When you feel the effect of the practice, it's always with every practice you do in any time. Just give it a little bit, couple of breaths after, just to basically absorb and note the difference. And it's another way to practice this. I'm an observer, I'm watching myself. It's constantly bringing back, even through the yoga practice, because we can very much be full of ourselves in the yoga practice as well, and performing as it can be. And many people do perform yoga rather than actually practice. Yeah. Uddiyana Bandha is one of the most powerful practices for awakening the Kundalini. It should be performed under the guidance of a competent teacher. And that's very important because there's so many things you can do, just hurt yourself as well. Usually all these things you do with yourself, with your body, it's hard to hurt yourself. But at least first time, do it with a teacher, with a practitioner. Many people do stuff online now. And it's basically as close to, in the past, like we go to the class. We didn't have this option back in the day. When I started yoga, there was no video records of yoga, no classes, nobody teach online. So I always had to go to my yoga teacher every day. And then if I was away or couldn't go, I just had to practice from my memory. And I found that was the better ways. Today you can tap to any practitioner, any yoga online and practice with them. And it's amazing. Yeah. I wish I had this opportunity when I started yoga. But in the same time, I think I had more opportunities to explore myself. So try either way, and whatever works for you better. Sometimes it is easy, just turn on something, somebody tell you what to do. is the state of mind you need to do it. Most of the time your practice, you should be just your own practice. Just find a routine. Usually somebody, guru teacher, can prepare a specific routine for yourself. Could be 15 minutes routine every day or 1 hour, whatever you need to, how much time you have. Whatever your goal, that's very important. And just learn to practice that at least, regularly. Rather than trying all the practices of the world around. So a little bit deviated. With Uddiyana, just tap into my sessions when we do practice this, usually about Manipura or Agni fire practices I have, and we definitely practice Uddiyana there. And wish you best luck with that.